You're listening to the Staging Sips podcast with Lori Fisher. This podcast is dedicated to helping real estate staging CEOs build healthy businesses that grow, flow, and thrive. Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. I am so happy to be with you. I feel like that's become like the new greeting. So today we are talking about client filters, and client filters are going to be like a game-changing concept to help you create a low-maintenance, enjoyable business as you grow. And client filters are fun because they're kind of like your company's red velvet rope for you and your clients. So, when you think about an exclusive club, a high-end club, maybe in New York City or something like that, and there's always that red velvet rope that just kind of helps all of the VIPs go in and all of the not so VIPs stay out. That's what client filters are for your business. They help you work with your very best clients for your business, and they help you identify which clients will get the best results when they work with your business. And in addition, they help your prospective and even current clients decide if working with you and your company is the right fit for them or not. And this is really, really important. I want you to really keep this in mind as we move forward. Client filters are for you as the business owner, but they are also for your prospective client. And it's just basically a simple way to find the very best clients for you and your services who value what your business does. They get the best results. They're the most fun to work with. And at the same time, you're protecting your staging business assets like your inventory and your team. So the bottom line is your business ends up making money in a way that you and your team can feel really, really good about, and your clients end up freaking loving you. So that is what this episode is going to be all about. As we talked about in episode 5 about boundary alignment and in episode 6 about grounded communication, I'm really all about how we help our brain operate from a place of neutrality. So it really makes sense that as you grow your business, you want to get really clear on who your company serves the best and which clients are the very best fit for your company and your services. And really the best way to do this is to plan and prepare ahead of time. But before we go any deeper, I just want to say this. If you're new and you're relatively new to business and you don't have like a ton of demand for your services, you should be working with anybody that comes your way. And the reason that I say this is, and I know a lot of people will say like, oh, you've got to start with your niche and figure all of that out. Well, that's really difficult to do when you haven't worked with people. So the way you start in business is you work with anybody and everybody who is interested in your services. And this way you'll begin to see the kinds of clients you will eventually want to filter in or out of your business. It's kind of like online dating or dating in general, right? We really need to swipe right. Is it right? I guess it's right when you want to say yes. We need to swipe right enough times before we know who immediately gets a left swipe, right? I know there's some clear left swiping that will happen, but a lot of times you don't know. So you've got to swipe right on clients often enough in order to figure out who are your non-ideals. And let me just say this, because I don't know that that I said it in the episode about boundaries, you actually want to work with non-ideal clients in the beginning of your business because you want to understand what boundaries people can push. Maybe those personalities that are maybe a little more difficult to work with, you want to see all of that range of client because you really want to understand what are the boundaries you want to put in place for your business. What are the communication plans you need to have in place as you move forward? And what are the scenarios that need to go into your client agreement? So as difficult as, the pain in the ass clients can be, they're really important for you to have in the early days of your business so that you can weed this out, right? So kind of like dating, you can begin to see the red flags and then learn who is the better fit for you. And legit, the only business filter I had in place in the beginning for Rethink Home Interiors was can you pay me? Right? I actually just talked to a subcontractor the other day who does flooring, and his filter is you pay, I lay. So, I mean, for him, it's like, if you can pay my prices, I will work for you. So mine was kind of like, if you can pay me, then I will work for you. So I think that's really important for those of you who are in the room right now, who are just starting your business, that you won't necessarily need client filters in the beginning, but I want you to know that you should be looking for the, clients that are going to teach you the lessons that help you put client filters into place over time. And I also want to mention a caveat, about client filters. So in our businesses, in the staging business, we often work with realtors and investors. So we have repeat referrals, especially from our realtors. So when you work with repeat referrals from realtors, not only are you getting them and their personalities, you're also getting their clients' personalities. You'll notice over time, when you work with enough realtors enough times, that you can pretty much predict what kind of client you're going to be walking into based on the realtor. So they, because they seem to attract their own kind of clients and similar clients. So you may work with a realtor who personally meets your client filters, but their clients don't meet your business filters, and vice versa. And you, as the business owner, get to decide how you approach that. So in our business, for example, we have had realtors that we find very challenging to work with, but their clients are lovely. And, we love working with the client, but the realtor always seems to want a special exception, needs an emergency appointment, is the one who always says there's one or two things they want you to tweak on the project. But again, their clients are fantastic. And then we have other realtors where they're amazing, but their clients can be a little more difficult. Maybe they're not as bought in and they maybe question what we're doing, but the realtor loves what we do and values it immensely. In our business, typically, we end up working with the realtor who is fantastic, who has the more difficult clients, because we know at the end of the day that realtor values us as a professional. And our team is so skilled, we can work with any personality of client once we're there. And typically by the end of an eval or a photo styling or whatever staging we do for them, they have been won over. But if we can't win over that realtor and have a true professional to professional kind of relationship where they honor and value, us and our corporate policies and our corporate boundaries, that's kind of a no for us. That's become a client filter for us over time, because truthfully, I want to make smart, enjoyable money, right? I want our business to make money that feels good for both me as the business owner and my team. And, it's not bound by drama. And a lot of times it is the realtor who creates far more drama than their, a challenging client here and there. And it also isn't bound by always having to leverage tons of mental energy to get that appointment on the books or get that service completed. And it isn't wrapped up in stress every time you engage in business with them. For a realtor who is dissatisfied routinely with your ability to either get a client, get an appointment on the books with them, or maybe the way that our team has styled a space, that creates a lot of stress. You're always waiting for the shoe to drop. I know several years, especially as I'm recording this before the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays here in the US. I would always worry about working with certain realtors just before those holidays, because I knew inevitably there was going to be some issue and that our team was going to have to rally and scramble to try to, make something right that really wasn't that big of an issue right around the holiday time, when we're already stressed out, just in personal lives, never mind in the business. So because I had this desire to make money that felt really good, I wasn't willing to take all money and any money. And I think that's really important. So our clients' filters were basically based upon working with lots and lots and lots of clients. So, and it's based on observation across lots of circumstances. So it's not even like, who do we love working with? Like who's our favorite? It's really not based on that. It's based on what kind of job and what kind of circumstances we want that are going to work best for us and our clients. So if you're not sure if you need client filters yet, you probably need to work with more clients before you see this, because you will see this. If you've been in business long enough, you will start to see the need, and you'll see the patterns of behavior and the patterns of clients in which you will need to put some client filters in place. And as I said earlier, again, I just want to remind you, just like corporate boundaries and policies, they're really there. Client filters are there to protect your business and to protect the clients by helping both of you decide if you're a right fit for each other. And I mentioned, briefly in episode 6 about want matches. This is where you're starting to get the want matches, is by developing client filters, and then both you and your client get very clear on what's the right, are you in alignment in terms of, your criteria for working with them? And is that okay for them? Do they want to engage working with you because of the criteria and the client filters that you have? So let me share a few of the client filters that I have in Rethink Home Interiors so that you can begin to think about yours. And even though I have said, if you're in the beginning of your business and you're really just, your job is to work with as many people as possible so that you can get down your processes, understand which clients you really do like working with, and generate revenue for your business, right? Like, you want it to generate revenue for your business. But I want you to be thinking about these client filters that I have in my business as you go through yours, because you may want to reference these, and you may want to dust this episode off, in the future, so that you can think about what kind of filters you'll put in place. So the first one that I have is, and I also want to say this before I start that. I also want to say that I think the client filters that we have in place and that we've put in place over the years, they're really a part of our clients having amazing experiences and loving working with us and being loyal to us. There are a lot of staging businesses opening in our area that are marketing, and we have a lot of tight brand loyalty with our clients. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're just very clear on what our client filters are, in addition to all kinds of other ways that we make our service invaluable and amazing. So I really want that for you as well. I want you to be creating a business that people love interfacing with, and they're really clear, and to know that you are looking out for them as much as you want to bring in revenue for your business. Okay, so here's the first one. If you have an occupied staging business in which you bring in inventory. So for us, that is a service that we offer. But the client filters for that are that the client cannot have pets, children, or smokers living in that household. Now, you can choose to not have those filters. However, and this is one I would put into place immediately, no matter where you are in your business. Because if you don't have these filters in place, be extremely prepared to communicate very often what the fee is to replace your damaged inventory. You really want to prepare your clients that should you put it into a home where there are pets, children, and smokers, if you need to clean or repair your inventory, what will it cost them? You want to communicate this over and over and over again. And just to help you out, if you go back to episode 5 about grounded communication and communication plans, if you look in the show notes, you can download a communication plan template. And inside of that template, you will also get access to a damage and loss report spreadsheet that you can use in your business should you ever encounter the situation if you don't have this filter in place. So that filter I would put in immediately. And this protects your clients from having to worry about your inventory or worry about having to pay damage fees, right? It just takes it right out of the off the table for them, because nobody really wants that. You don't want to be stressed by having somebody else's inventory in your home. If you encounter this situation, what we do is we do photo styling, and if we have a client who's got any one of those things, pets, smokers, or children, we recommend that we do photo styling, and we work with what the client has. In addition to, maybe we recommend them bringing in purchasing some accessories that we give them guidance on, but we will not put in furniture or bedding that is from our inventory in those cases. Okay, so that's one of them. Another client filter that we have is that we charge $150 as a preview fee for any vacant staging. And that fee gets applied to the staging once a client moves forward. And this is something that we put in place for clients who are new to us. Once we've established that they, if it's in the case of an investor, or their referrals in the case of a realtor, end up hiring us, 95% of the time or more, then we end up waiving this fee. It's just a way in the beginning for us to not have our team spend time going to a property, creating a quote, determining what our inventory needs are, only for somebody to not work with us because they were just simply shopping for quotes for a client or shopping for the very best price. We ballpark our price in our initial call with the client, where we typically fall in that range 99% of the time, unless they haven't been clear with us about the size and the rooms and all of that. So that right there, if they're not a right fit for that price range and they don't want to pay that $150 fee, then we don't end up working with them. But I will tell you this, plenty of people pay that fee and work with us. And it actually helps us understand who's more likely to move forward. It's really, really nice. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things I implemented. And I was so nervous, you guys, to implement this fee. I was really nervous about it. I thought, oh my God, there goes all of our business. But actually, I have had many people tell me that they appreciated that because they found it very professional, and that they knew that I valued my time and I valued my company. And I was shocked by that when I heard that. And I'm telling you that because it wasn't just one person that said that I've had that been communicated to me on multiple occasions by both realtors and investors, or both realtors, investors, and homeowners. So anyway, that might be another one for you. We receive payment upfront for all of our services. And if the client is not comfortable with that, then they're really not a right fit for our business and our business processes. I do have a few realtors that have been grandfathered in because they've been with me for years, and that's what they're used to, and that's their preference. However, anybody that has been new to us over the last probably 5 years, they pay upfront. This protects our business and our clients from having to send repeated invoices, which was what was happening. We'd have to send multiple invoices, and then we would worry. We'd be, waiting. And then it's like, well, when's the right time to send a second invoice? And then we felt like we were bothering people. And then it was all this extra admin time that wasn't built into the price of the business. And occasionally people just would not pay. It did not matter how much we followed up with them. So this really saves all of us. It saves the client from feeling like maybe we're bothering them or harassing them. And it protects us from all kinds of additional admin time. And it also helps the client know that they for sure are on our calendar, because that's how it works. When they pay us in full, that's when they get the opportunity to be on our calendar. Okay, so that's another one. And we also have a 72-hour block on our calendar for any new appointment. So when you go to our Acuity scheduling calendar, you will not see any available appointments for 72 business hours. And we did this for several reasons. One was that it was, first of all, it was so difficult for us in terms of team to always feel like we were in an emergency situation. And we had clients who were repeatedly always wanting us in tomorrow. They could not wait. And then we would show up and the client would be like, oh yeah, we're not planning to list, for 6 weeks or something like that. So there was like no need for us to be trying to rearrange our schedule to fit these things in. We typically will make an exception to this client filter only if it is a repeat client who has demonstrated that, first of all, they value our company immensely, and it is not a typical request for them. And there's some reason that this request is required. But other than that, we really don't waive that fee, or that 72-hour block. We also do this because we want to prepare our sellers for what to expect at the appointment. We have multiple points of communication that we like to send out. And so that communication starts from the time they're put on the calendar. And so that gives us 3 days in which to drip out little communication out to them to let them know what to expect. And it also helps our team because when our client is prepared and ready, then we have a much better appointment with the client. We also have this in place because our company standard is to turn around our selling success plan, which is especially for our styling evaluations, is our, kind of room by room to-do list. So we want to turn that around in 48 business hours. This is more difficult to do if we're squeezing in appointments to an already heavily scheduled day in both the business, but also in our personal lives as well. It gives everyone the opportunity to be mentally prepared and ready, not only for the appointment, but for getting that deliverable out in the time frame in which we send it out. So, and that's what we tell our clients. You may not be able to get us tomorrow, but you're definitely going to get your deliverable much faster than probably the majority of staging companies that are out there. And we know this because we work with a lot of agents who have left working with other staging business owners because it took them too long in order to produce the deliverable for the client. And remember, so these are ours and they've been a work in progress over the years. And yours will too. Just like anything in your business, and like I talk about all of the time, we have to get really comfortable with experimentation and just trying things and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what we can improve and tweak. That is going to be your life's story and journey as a staging business owner. So remember, these are fluid. These are not necessarily set in stone. You can certainly have exceptions if need be again, you'll have a client filter for your client filters, right? It's very meta. So these can be fluid. But I just want you to know that this is a tool available to you to make your life and your business so much more enjoyable. And I just want to emphasize that when you look at the client filters that I've just shared with you from our own business, you can see that we've created them to have the best possible experience, not only for us as a team at Rethink Home Interiors, but for our clients, above our desire for money and revenue. So we're willing to not work with people who aren't a right fit before we're willing to take their money, because we just know that there are going to be certain scenarios that just don't work best for us and certain clients that don't work for us. So when you can get your brain there and when you get your business there, when you're in enough demand that you need to really put client filters in place, you're actually going to be coming energetically from a place of feeling very sufficient in the revenue that you're bringing in. And that coming from a place of sufficiency ends up helping you make more money over time. And truthfully, there is something to people want to be able to fit your client filters, right? So if you've ever thought about a time where you wanted a particular thing and there maybe was an application process or a vetting process and you didn't make the cut, like, don't you kind of want it all that much more, right? So there's a little bit of that as well. So energetically putting that out into the world, like, you're so exclusive, they actually have to protect the boundaries around your business in order to work only with the very, very best. So I think when you get to this point in your business, it's going to feel help you feel so good about who you're working with and the work that you put into the world with those people. I promise you that. So it might feel like maybe it's icky and you don't want to do it and you might resist it. But when you can get your brain there to implementing them, you really are going to be in a very, very good place. So that's your sip for the week. I hope you have a wicked awesome rest of your week, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Staging Sips podcast. If you love what you've learned here today and you want to learn more about how to market and grow your staging business more strategically, I would love to see you join us inside of the Rethink You mentorship program. If you want more details and get on our waiting list, you can go to rethinkhomeinteriors.com/waitlist. Looking forward to seeing you in the classroom.